Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Mad Capper, and this is another video on Raid Shadow Legends. And today we're going to try a proof of concept on the Ultra Nightmare clan boss Force Affinity. As you all know, 1.15 is out, and that allows us infinite damage allowance on the clan boss. The only unfortunate thing, which is what we kind of figured would happen, it's kind of the lazy thing if you ask me, but whatever, is it retains whatever affinity it was when it hit the 50%. But this offers me, because I can hit it as many times as I want, it allows me to test things out, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing today. I have problem with Force Affinity, so what I've been trying to do is theory crafting, and I think I have it. And this is my theory craft number one. We're gonna do a couple slight changes to this. This gave me 19 million. So if I'm doing 45 million roughly on my first key, Void Affinity, assuming I can still get it in, my second key I need to be able to do, you know, obviously, what is it, about 25 million. All right, we're gonna do a little voiceover interjection here. I actually ended up testing many different combinations to find the best possible damage. And this first one was not the best possible damage. So I went through different variations of Venus, Occult Brawler, Dracomorph, Frozen Banshee. I think it's just the four of them. Many different combinations. I also used Grizzle Jarl and Mausoleum Mage. What we're going to do is I'm going to spare you going through all the runs of all the different ones. The damage was between 17 and 19 million for all the rest. And then I put Draco Occult Brawler together with Mausoleum Mage, Warcaster and Roshcard, and that gave me 23.5 million. I do believe, based on a couple of the tests with Grizzle Jarl, that Grizzle Jarl is better than Mausoleum Mage, so I expect the damage will be about 500,000 more maybe when I do that. And I expect I can do over 25 million a key once I get Warcaster fully built. Full disclosure, I actually now do have him fully built. I'm just waiting for the next time Force Affinity comes up for the clan boss, and then I will do a update video and show you the damage as that as part of my Affinity Roshcard Ultra Nightmare clan boss teams. So I've got two of them. I've got my magic and my spirit already video recorded. I'm just waiting for Force again so I can show you this team fully built and running a full key. But we're going to splice to the final run, and we're going to talk about setting up the turn order for this, and then at the end I will show you each of the champions' stats, and hopefully that'll give you a good idea on how to build this for yourself. It's really simple. You want your Mausoleum Mage to be 171 to 174. Then you want your two nukers to be between 174 and 179. Mine go 173 for the Mausoleum Mage, 175 for Draco, 176 for Venus, and then 240 for my Roshcard, and 245 for my Warcaster. And when I put that team together, that's what sets the turn order. What we're going to do is I'll let this actually play out, and I'll show you how the turn order starts on this, and then we'll splice over to the final run, which shows you the 23.5 million that I do with Draco and Occult Brawler, which is the best combination. I tried 100. I didn't try 100. I tried 9 keys, and that was the best damage. I would have done a 10th key to see if for sure Grizzle Jarl was the better of the two as far as the block debuff champion, but I'm pretty much can guarantee it. When you look at the kits, yes, there's an increased crit rate from Mausoleum Mage, but the problem with that is most of my champions already built high crit rate, so it's not giving me a whole lot. You know, I think my Venus is already at 100%. My Warcaster now is at 100%. My Roshcard's at like 90% and 99% for my Draco. All right, so here it is. Turn one. What we're gonna do is turn one is for Warcaster. Warcaster's gonna use his one turn. And this is the only turn that someone's vulnerable because Roshcard has to go. So you want him to use his A2 to burn that off. You're not going to use his ulti, obviously. That's for the second AoE and the stun. I think at this point I'm just explaining that what we're going to do is for the stun round we'll use Mausoleum Mage to block the stun, yada yada yada. So boom. Then the clan boss goes right. Roshcard takes damage. Only time it's going to happen. Then we're going to set it up. It doesn't really matter. I don't think it really matters what turn you go in that. I've tried it both ways. It doesn't seem to really matter. In this case, I was using Venus, so obviously I wanted him to put down poisons because she could use her defense down weaken. But whatever. Alright, you're going to burn a turn. I'm going to burn a turn. Now it's turn 2. This is where Roshcard's going to use his. And then we just hit auto. I think I kept going on this because I wasn't sure that I could use auto at this point. But at this point, you've set the turn orders you need. Oh, no. I want to make sure Mausoleum uses his block on this round. Which he should anyway. He should prioritize it. But I'm always paranoid, so I always wait until he uses it. And there's the block for the stun. Boom. Now we put it on auto. And you can see Warcaster takes his 2 turns. He's got it up for the AoE 1. And then Roshkar's going to take his 2 turns. And he'll put up his block for the AoE 2. And then he will put up his block. Everyone will go. Boom. Last turn. There it is there. And rinse and repeat. So now we're going to push over to the best damage comp, and we'll talk about it at the end about the different champions and their stats. Okay, let's take a look at the champions we use there. I'm filming this a little bit later than I filmed the actual runs. So you're going to see the actual current build for Warcaster. I have him up to 6-star now, fully ascended. And let's start right there with him. Warcaster, this is my first iteration. I'm going to keep building him up, but I just wanted to get something out there for you guys. The next time it's Force Affinity, I'll run it with him at this and see what we have for damage. So, and of course, I didn't want to roll this because I was worried it was going to hit speed and then I'd have to keep going. So when we take a look at it, 245 speed is the key here. Other than that, just build his attack up, his crit and his crit damage. He is a support champion with attack-based modifier as his attack skills. Don't need the accuracy, but if you're going to use him elsewhere, he does have some really good skills. This has a 50% when booked chance of stealing 2 random buffs, so that's a nice little piece. And this has a block debuffs for 2 turns. That's at a 75% when fully booked and a 3-turn cooldown. So if you're going to use him in arena or other areas, you may want to consider making sure that his accuracy is high. But for the Unkillable comp that you just watched, you don't need it. My Roshcard, he's currently, so I have one piece of gear that I switch out. So let's switch that piece of gear out just so I can show you. Speed gear, and I think it's this one here. Yep. So it doesn't make his perfect stats, but I wasn't really worried about that. I'm min-maxing him as best I can for Ultra Nightmare on the other affinities, and for this case, he'll just have to suffer, but I like having one gear that I can switch out to get the different speeds. For the Force Affinity, he needs to be at 240. I want his crit attack high because, again, his A1 is attack, his A2 is HP, but his A1 is going to do more hits, and so therefore it's going to do more damage. So I'm increasing his attack. His crit rate is close to 100 as possible, and his crit damage just you know, the more the better, right? The more the merrier. For my poisoners, Draco, I haven't changed him in quite some time. He does have some min-maxing to go, but he's pretty good right now. I'm pretty happy with the damage output he has. Again, don't worry about HP defense. His attack at 4,500, almost 4,600. He's got 176 speed, 99 crit rate with 257% crit damage, 248 debuff accuracy are the key stats. The next one is Cult Brawler. Now, Cult Brawler I was using in different areas at different times. So he does have lifesteal on, does not need lifesteal for this, obviously. And he is not even close to optimized for this comp. I will be doing that next. So his speed is right, but you want him to have more attack, and don't worry about HP or defense because it's unkillable. Again, this I like having over 240. 220 is usually what people say, but I like having it above 240 just because that's who I am. For damage, like, yeah, just push his attack to 3,500, 4,500, or higher if you can. Push his crit rate to 100% and crit damage as high as you can go, and he'll give you extra. And of course, now for my block debuffs, did I miss someone? I got Warcaster, Roshcard, the Draco, the Occult Brawler. So this is the one you saw in the run, and he was at 173, so he's the slowest on the team, and that's so he can put up the block debuffs on the stun round. If I cared to min-max him, which I don't, I would do more attack, and again, ignore HP defense, because if you're just using him for Unkillable, in this particular instance, the rest is kind of irrelevant. I was using him for Arena, so I actually had him at debuff resistance over 400, because I was trying to get him, so he could cleanse the rest of my team. He wouldn't get frozen, he'd cleanse the rest of my team. Or if it was up against Hegemon, he wouldn't get it because of the high resist. I don't have the right not immortal gear, the gear. But the point being is, if you're just using him for clan boss, you'll want to push his attack up, but don't expect to see a lot of damage out of it. This is based off attack, but it hits like a wet noodle. If you do like attack, you probably want to go to Grizzled Drow because he does hit harder. He is based on defense, so his damage is going to be based on defense. Same with Earth Stomp, based on defense. You do not need this booked. You do need this booked to 3-turn cooldown. And his stats on him are 44k health, 5100 defense, 172 speed, and crit rate and crit damage. Does not need debuff accuracy. When I rebuild him, now that I'm not using him in a counter-attack team, I'm using him in the immortal teams, I will let his health go, keep his defense, or even push it a little higher if I can, but I really want his crit rate at 100% and some crit damage. See if I can push that damage even higher now that it's a little less important. I still want to keep his defense above 5k because that does give him his attack modification on his abilities. So that is it. It's pretty simple once you get through it. If you like the video, please leave it a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe. If there's anything you want to see, any questions you have, or any concerns you may want about this comp or any other comp on any other video I've done, please find me on Discord. The link is in the description down below. As part of the Chofly Elite team, I am there all the time. I'm also in Valar Gaming's Discord. Frankly, I'm just about in everyone's Discord, so just find me on Discord and feel free to ask me any questions you may have, and I'll do my best to answer you. Keep in mind, I do work about 50 hours a week, so I may not answer you right away. Most importantly, have fun at the game, be kind to one another, practice social distancing, stay safe out there, and I hope to see you soon in the next. Well, I don't actually see you. I'm just staring at a camera with a light ring behind it. But I hope that you see me soon because you're still alive.